So we have the Scorpio card as the first card out for my beautiful mutable signs here, as well as the Aries card and the Leo card. So we have a lot of placements going on here. We don't necessarily always have this many zodiac signs that come out when we pull these cards. So this is really fascinating. Some of you may have placements in some of these other signs as well. We have 2 fixed signs here. So some of you may want to watch the fixed sign reading that I did in addition to this reading. And then of course we have 1 cardinal sign, 2 fire signs as well. So a lot of fire energy going on here. And we did have the Leo card in reverse at one point. I don't necessarily read these cards in reverse, but I think that that's interesting. It's this energy of perhaps there has been a time in the recent past where you weren't allowing yourself to fully shine. You weren't allowing yourself to fully step into some type of role or leadership, whatever the case may be. There's this, if you've been holding yourself back, we'll put this out as it came out. Spirit is saying this is no longer. It's time to take action towards your goals. If you have been lacking the confidence, if you have been lacking perhaps the motivation or the stamina, then as we move into the month of May, it's like that fire is going to be relit within you. That's what this energy feels like. But there is the need to dig into some stuff here with this Scorpio card. There's something secret. There's a secret that needs to come to light, is essentially what this feels like. And for some people, this could be a secret in the outer world, something that's been kept from you. But for most people, I feel like this is a secret that you've been holding within. There's some sort of belief system. When we're talking about this energy of being afraid to shine, not allowing ourselves to shine, perhaps like procrastinating, there's some sort of energy here, some sort of belief system, some sort of trauma, could be current life, could be past life. If you guys want assistance working through these energies, please reach out to me. My email is in the description box below. All right. That something needs to be unearthed and uncovered. Something operating in the unconscious, so that you're able to step more fully into yourself and take your place in the world. I'm getting this energy of like, take your rightful place. All right, however that's going to fit for you. We have Descendant on the bottom of the deck, which was Invitation. And that was in the reverse position as well. And what's interesting about the Descendant is that represents a shadowy area of our charts as well. So there's a lot of shadow work for my mutable signs here. The Descendant is, of course, opposite the Ascendant. And so it's the parts of ourselves that we don't immediately recognize, the parts of ourselves that we cultivate through our relationships and our connections with others. A lot of times these are qualities that we're drawn to in other people because we're seeking to develop them in ourselves. And so there's some energy here with that as well. But this says the Invitation. I honestly want to take a little look real quick and see if there's something in the guidebook that is going to be helpful for us, some sort of message regarding the Descendant here. Definitely there's an energy of look to your relationships, because there is information here that may help you, like what's triggering you in relationships, the themes that you're working through in your relationships with other people as well as yourself right now. Those are keys. Those are like little pointers, little hints that are hinting at what it is that needs to be unearthed and understood here. Let's see. This has to do with boundaries. This is an invitation to have stronger boundaries. This is an invitation to look at the projections that we place upon other people. So this is when we are projecting our own feelings, our own needs, our own traumas perhaps, and insecurities and fears onto other people. All right. Yeah. So really understanding where that is coming up as well and where that plays out in your relationships. Where it is that perhaps you are perceiving that a person is behaving a certain way towards you, when in fact your perception is just a reflection of your own fears of not being good enough, for example, your own fears of not being worthy, your own fears of abandonment. So it's like going deep into that stuff for my mutable signs here. And that's how it relates to this Leo card here. All right, the Leo Aries combo here, because it's those same fears that are preventing you from really putting yourself out there. Anything else here? What else do we need to know for my mutable signs? We have Pluto going retrograde this month in the sign of Aquarius, right? So opposite Leo at 2 degrees of Aquarius, which is a Taurian degree. So that Taurus energy coming through strong here as far as the energies we're working with this month. Scorpio, of course, being the opposing sign to Taurus, the balancing energy to Taurus. We have the conjunction alliance coming through here. So for some people, there's like, there's connections that want to be made here. There's forces. Ooh, this is interesting. Forces that we choose to align ourselves with this month. This is going to be a big theme for us, mutable signs. All right. And I say us because my moon is mutable. So I have some mutable energy there, being a Virgo moon. So this energy of what we're aligning ourselves with, this is, yes, about making the connections and doing the networking. If we're creating a project or just looking at who we have in our corner, who we have around us that can support us. But this is also about paying attention to what am I aligning with myself in terms of like what I'm consuming, right? What I'm listening to, what I'm reading, what energies are my thoughts, my words, and my actions aligning me with? What version of myself, what belief systems am I aligned with? And where is it that I'm ready to shed that if it is not serving me and move towards more things that are? So it's like moving into alliance or alignment with the things that serve us this month and away from the things that don't. And yes, creating those connections. I placed that right on top of the Scorpio card. Scorpio rules the 8th house, right? And this can be one of the energies of the 8th house is wealth, sharing resources. So some of you guys may really be creating a powerful partnership. We got that descendant card too, which is, you know, that angle, that's the angle of the 7th house, right? So yeah, some people could be getting into serious partnerships right now in a business sense or some type of collaborative sense. Yeah, it could be a romantic partnership, but for a lot of people, it feels more like people that are just people that you're growing. It doesn't necessarily, I was going to say business, but it doesn't have to be business. It's anybody that you are aligning yourself with, that you are growing with in some capacity. Virgo, digest. All right. And I thought it was interesting. I didn't say it, but the 5 and the 1 together make the 6. And I was thinking of Virgo energy. So that's so funny that the Virgo energy did come out here. It didn't want to be missed. All right. But see how in this card, it's like the harvest, like the hands are holding the grain. There's an energy of harvesting here. And so this is saying that the reality that you are experiencing right now is a direct result of the work that you've put in up until this point, of what it is that you've been cultivating within the garden of your world, of your mind, of your heart, of yourself. All right. It is a direct result of the daily habits that you have implemented and the routines that you have created for yourself. So if you are ready to have an even greater harvest, then it's time to step it up in terms of those routines, in terms of those habits, in terms of the way you are showing up in your day-to-day life. So look around at your reality right now. Look around at what is coming through for you, what is manifesting in the month of May. And know and understand that that is a direct result of the work that you've put in. It's a direct result of what you have allied yourself with. All right. This is interesting too, because we have the geese on this card. And geese are generally birds that migrate, right? And they they fly in that beautiful V formation. So there's this energy here of migration as well. I feel like some of my mutable signs may be moving, either have recently moved or be moving. And when I say moving, I mean like changing location. Right? The geese come and go. So maybe some of you are lucky enough to live the dream that I think all of us who live in the Northeast have at some point in our lives, of like being the seasonal, like living one season in one place and one season in another. This could also be evident of migration from one season of your life into another. All right? Like a big turning point here. But for others, this is, like I said, like literally, you're literally moving, or at least relocating for a time. What else wants to come through here? Interesting, isn't that funny? I guess there's a moon on a couple of these cards, because I'm noticing how there's a moon here on the Virgo card. Digest. Yeah, so for a long time, and it's not as bad. I think some of the issues that I still have going on digestion-wise and stomach-wise have to do with just all the chemicals and nasty stuff that's in our food, especially in the United States. Like, our food is basically a toxic heap, right? Like, they just dump toxic waste into our food supply. Yeah, it really heats me up sometimes, all the time, right? And there are a lot of ways to avoid this that involve a lot of hard work and effort, and maybe that's a belief system. But I used to have much worse digestive issues, and I've done a lot of self-healing around this. I've had a lot of 3 aura sessions, all kinds of different things. Aura, for those who don't know, is one of the quantum healing past life regression modalities that I practice. And I've made a lot of progress. But I remember when I was first digging into this energy, I talked to a psychic, and she said, what in your life do you have difficulty digesting? And it was so funny. She asked me that, and I stopped. She really took me aback. This was many, many years ago. And I was like, well, geez, pretty much everything. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of us could agree with that, you know. And that's one of the hallmarks of being a starseed, right? Is this energy of like seeing the way everything works in this dimension, in this reality, and being like, this is wrong. This is backwards, right? This is inverted. This is upside down. Like, what is going on here? So I don't know why I shared that story. I think because maybe there's somebody else who's going through this right now. And we've been getting a lot of solar plexus activations. And in May, we may be receiving some more. So the stomach and that area of the body, and we're becoming more and more sensitive to all of those toxic chemicals, like I talked about, that are found, that proliferate in our food in many countries, including the United States, where I live. And so, like, people may be noticing, you may be having more digestive problems. You may be needing to do different things. Like, I take probiotics now, really good, high quality probiotics. I used colostrum for a little while, bovine colostrum, which sounds really weird, but I think it really helped heal the mucosal membranes. It helped heal my gut. So any of those ways that we can supplement ourselves, and really paying attention to the way we're eating. And paying attention as well, like we said, this is taking us right back to the consumption. What am I consuming? And what about that? Am I having difficulty digesting? And now this is a two-pronged message here, right? Because we talk about acceptance as being the energy of alchemy, and how when we're resisting something and railing against something, it's really, really difficult in that energy to be able to shift, to be able to change anything, right? Because we're stuck in that combative, that resistant, that it's like glue. It kind of like glues the issues and the energy to us. But at the same time, like, we don't want to just accept everything to the point of defeat, where we're just like, this is just the way it is and there's nothing that can be done. You know what I mean? There's a balance here. So it's like accepting what the reality that we see, in the terms of like, okay, this is what it is right now. And also, there is opportunity here for me to make a difference in X, Y, and Z type of way. All right, so it's like a two-pronged thing. Understanding why we're having difficulty digesting something, bringing in that energy of allowance to help it digest a little better. The allowance sort of like being the energy, the acceptance, the allowance being that like the probiotics, right? The digestive enzymes. But then at the same time being like, all right, so how do I take action around this to create a different story, scenario? Yeah. And so if we're using like the food thing which is an obvious metaphor, and we're talking about digesting on an energetic sense, right? To use a physical metaphor of digestion itself. What are the actions that we can take? Well, we can start moving towards eating as many whole organic foods as possible, right? Organic in like America, for instance, is pretty much a lie as well. The only true organic food is the food we get directly from the farmer's market or our backyard, right? But I can move in that toward that energy, and maybe I can start lobbying. Maybe I can see what groups there are out there that are fighting this, that are bringing awareness to the fact that like our food is a cesspool of carcinogens and toxic and artificial ingredients, and like maybe bringing awareness or finding some way to get involved in making that change, right? So those are the levels. Hopefully that tirade was helpful and made sense. Yeah, we have Neptune and progressions here, journey, vision and journey. So there's a vision that's unfolding here. There's a brand new vision and a brand new journey that I feel like my mutable signs are about to embark on. And it's like the thing that creates that new journey is, of course, the uncovering of what's been hidden. What's prevented us from shining. Why we've been holding ourselves back. And then this brand new journey begins to take root. Pluto rebirth. There it is. This is really exciting energy. Really exciting energy for all my mutable signs. And some of you may want to look up where Pluto is in your chart and where Aquarius is in your chart, because that's the most powerful area of rebirthing for you in the years that follow, in the next decade, because Pluto is going to be in Aquarius until 2044. So that gives a really long time to work with these energies. No, that's not 10 years. That's 20. All right. Any final cards here for my mutable signs? Anything else that wants to come out? We have Ceres and Venus. So there's this beautiful energy of nurturing as well. There's a new beginning here for my mutable signs. We have Pisces sensitivity on the bottom of the deck as well. There's this beautiful, which is, of course, one of my mutable signs, along with Virgo here. A brand new journey as well that my mutable signs are embarking upon when it comes to self-care, when it comes to self-love, when it comes to cultivating that beautiful nurturing energy. Some people might actually, like, you might be becoming parents. I'm feeling that for some people watching this. Or moving to the next phase in your parenthood. Like, say your child is reaching a milestone where they don't need you as much. Perhaps some people, their kids are adults and they're moving out. They're leaving the nest, so to speak. So beginning any phase of that journey, and if it's not a journey where you have a physical child, then this is in your own reparenting process of yourself. And for some people, it's going to be both at the same time. For some people, it's like your children, part of their reason for being here was to assist you in reparenting yourself. And for realizing there's like a powerful healing that happens when you realize that even though you didn't have the greatest role models, you are not broken, and you are capable of raising and loving and nurturing a human who is not broken either, right? I mean, We're not going to get into the semantics of whether anyone is ever broken. Like for these intents and purposes, those are the feelings, right? I am not broken. So that's really beautiful, but it's like some sort of breakthrough in this process of parenting or reparenting ourselves. And it's like a brand new era where we learn to cut ourselves some slack, where we learn to be gentle with ourselves, where we learn how to give ourselves the love that for such a long time we have given others, possibly for some of my mutable signs to the point of like having our cup completely drained. So that's really beautiful. That's really beautiful. I love that. And with the 10th house, the midheaven pinnacle on the bottom of the deck, it's like this also helps you get to a whole new level when it comes to your career, when it comes to your reputation, when it comes to your legacy. It's like that self-care piece was such a huge part. I saw the Gemini card flip through as well. So we're hitting most of my mutable signs here. I don't think I've seen the Sag card so far, but I know you're in there. It's like so much of your inability to reach the level of success that you may have desired for yourself. For some of you guys, you wouldn't even let yourselves believe that you desired it, right? It's like it felt shameful almost to want to be successful in whatever way that means or is going to resonate for you. So it's like allowing yourself to have that, allowing yourself to dream bigger, and knowing that you are worthy of that, and coming to realize how much more you're actually capable of when you're taking care of yourself instead of taking care of everybody else, or instead of harming yourself, right? Engaging in these behaviors that hurt instead of heal. All right, I love you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and let me know. If you want to book a personal reading or any of the myriad of other services that I provide, go ahead and check out the description box below. My email is there as well as my website. I love you, love you, love you so very, very much. And I hope that you have a beautiful month of May.